What's up, everybody? What a wonderful Monday night. I am so excited about tonight's show. I get excited a lot about this if y'all can't tell, but tonight is a very special night for me, me and Ellen here at Atlanta Barbecue Store. We've got two of our best friends, two of my heroes, as you see on here, heroes tonight. Just two teams that to me are just absolutely incredible for us. And I'm so grateful for these guys and them and their wives. They're just amazing people. So I'm looking forward to it. Y'all all know who's coming on, but it's going to be a heck of a night. We're going to have a lot of fun. They give me a hard time, and I take it and I enjoy it. But first of all, I wanted to let everybody know we did as a family. We went camping this weekend without a barbecue contest. We took the RV. We went camping. It was really strange. We had an absolute blast. Cole's birthday was last week, and he wants to go camping for his birthday. So we took the RV, went up to Franklin, North Carolina, had a great time, and didn't cook anything. It was kind of sad, but it's been a lot of fun. I hope everybody has been finding the 12 Days of Christmas. There's been a lot of good deals on there, a lot of fun stuff. Ellen's put a lot of work into that. So if you want it, jump on there, find them. You can get any of those throughout. But if you'll like the page, share our page on YouTube or share it on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. Love to have as many subscribers as we can get. What's everybody? Ron Davis had fun in Alabama. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Lincoln Andrews, what's up? Kenny Dobbs, how are you? Steve Dotson, what's up, my man? Good to see y'all. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with these two guys because, as I've said, we have been very fortunate to have both of these two teams be sponsor teams for us, and that means more to us than anything. Just the outpouring of support they have given us and everything else. So I'm going to bring them on. I'm going to bring them both on at the same time, and then I'm going to let them talk for a little bit. But Robert and Paul, Robert with Smoke Me Silly, Paul with Rooters and Tutors. I'm telling y'all, these two teams have been heroes to us, mentors to us, just incredible people that have done more for barbecue than anybody ever knows. Very proud to call you all friends. And more important, you guys are doing a lot to help us at Atlanta Barbecue Store. And thank you very much. And both of y'all got to cook this weekend. So how are y'all doing?
Doing good. Hey, I feel honored just to be on the show with Robert. I mean, the legend is on the show, and he's right in the middle too, so it works out.
I feel like I'm being double teamed here.
I mean, it is if y'all all know, Robert was the guy that started Chewin the BBQ Fat, and he is the mastermind of this. What y'all don't know is every week he sends me agendas to talk about on the show.
Right.
And he's still doing that for me throughout. Right, Robert?
Yeah.
Yeah, think about all the information that's been shared on this show. It's all because of that guy right there.
That guy right there.
Right.
You get better, Tate.
So y'all both got to cook this weekend. Yes, Steve, they are barbecue studs. I'm telling you, just met Rooters Tutors this past weekend. Oh, good. Ron, you get to meet Paul and Lynn, great people. Robert did make sure to send Jarvis an agenda. Yes, Kenny, he's got an agenda for me. It's like highlighted, multiple colors and everything. It's going to be a great time tonight. So, Robert, tell me about your weekend.
Cooked in Demopolis, Alabama. Not that many teams showed up. I was surprised. I think we had 19 pros, which is a shame. That's pretty good damn contest. Of course, they used to pull in a lot more when the team of the year lasted through the end of the calendar year. But now that they've shortened it, not that many people wanting to get out that quick, except us crazy people. We're willing to hurry up and get out there. But not many contests in the state of Alabama. So I think we have 3 now. So got to support it, man. Got to do it. And it's a good contest if you have kids. They usually have that Christmas float parade. And they had a heck of a fireworks show as well on Saturday night. So they go all out for Christmas. Their Christmas on the River Festival there in the town of Demopolis. So if you've never been to that contest, go ahead and try it next year. Like a lot of contests in Alabama over the years, and a lot other places as well. Power and water. I mean, water's there. Power, not so much. I mean, there's some. It's spotty as far as where it's at. The whole infield, they had like 15 amp. They had some 30 amps. So just like a lot of places, you just got to come prepared that there might not be water or might not be electricity. So, but it was a good contest. You know why? Is because it was 70 some degrees.
No kidding.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in Demopolis. That's a rarity.
No,
It's usually freezing or raining. So
yes.
we're very happy.
One time I cooked, it was raining and terrible.
Yeah, the weather was absolutely great.
Yeah, Chris, Robert got there Tuesday morning in order to get that 50 amp plug also.
Hey,
so, yeah.
Got to get there early. I got the one and only 50 amp plug, and it surprised the heck out of me. I stopped at the Love's Rest Stop in Utah, not too far away. Gassed up, expecting to run the generator the whole weekend. Very surprised. Pays to get there on Tuesday.
Paul, what did you think about it? Oh, there it is.
Sorry, I lost you.
Yeah, you're back. What did you think about the contest this weekend?
I thought it was good. It was kind of a last minute deal for us. Lynn Schaefer, I blame it all on Chris Schaefer. So he told Lynn he was going to Demopolis, and so she looked at me and said, "Well, if Schaefer's going, we got to go." So we kind of last
in front of my trailer and coming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so we end up just kind of last minute throwing it all together and running down there. And naturally, I don't know why I went because, Chris spanked everybody. So I appreciate that, Chris. But overall, we've done that contest a couple of times on and off. But like Robert said, the weather was incredible. So I was a little surprised that there were only 19 teams there for it on the backyard side and the Master Series. Because I don't think Alabama's had that many contests this year. So you would think there would be some of the Alabama guys kind of itching to get out and cook something. But
that's crazy. Was Bill there? Was Bill Triple H there also, or did he?
Yeah, he was there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he said he's a bad influence on he's a bad influence on all of us. Chris said any time for coming to spank y'all.
Yeah, he is.
What a contest! There were some big names. I did look at the list. I was expecting more teams, like Robert was saying. And then y'all, seeing the results, it was a little down. But I think like Robert was saying, that's COVID. It's the time of year. It's everything else. But I'm sure it was just good to get out and cook. I was trying to watch. I know y'all had early turn-in times or something. The turn-in times were a little different.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
30
but
minutes
awards was like awards were like 2:15, something like that.
Yeah, awards. What was the last turn-in? 1? And yeah, awards started at 2:15.
It's crazy. Yeah, and then Papa Pig Eric comes in there. He drops his stuff off.
Yeah, he does.
Done and goes to work for a couple hours or 12 hours, then comes back and has a great day.
Yeah, that's becoming a habit of Eric. Eric's starting to do that quite frequently now.
Man, that's pretty cool to watch. So, as everybody knows, we've got the Atlanta Barbecue Store Classic Class. What a name! What a name! That came. Robert was like, "Hey, you know what? I got a great name for this class. Let's go with this."
You're so full of it.
But as we continue to try to say the Atlanta Barbecue Store Classic Class, it's just a tongue twister. But anyway, the class is full. The class filled up relatively quick. We do have a waiting list going on. So if anybody wants to get in on the waiting list, send Ellen an email at ellen@atlantabarbecuestore.com, and she can get you on the list. There has been a couple changes in the lineup from last week. And, it's the way we do things here at Atlanta Barbecue Store. We just we do that. So the new lineup is going to be Robert cooking chicken. All right. Everybody's going to be fortunate. Lee Hickle.
Good for me.
Lee Hickle will be cooking ribs. Paul is going to be cooking pork. And Wes Garrett will be on brisket. So we feel like it's a really good lineup. Paul was he's the reigning world champion in pork. So here we go, guys. We get to see what Paul does on pork. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Robert, if anybody knows Robert, I call him the professor. He is very consistent in everything he does, and he's going to show you how to cook chicken. It's going to be really good. So everyone can skip the end of the class. Yeah, brisket's going to be brisket, but it's going to be fun. So, guys, I would just once again, I want to thank you all for coming on, and thank you for helping us with this class. What are some things that you're looking forward to in the class? And Paul, I'll let you start since I do most of the talking and you don't get to talk much. So,
what am I looking forward to in the class?
Yeah,
seeing what Wes does.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason why I volunteered for this, was to see what Wes Garrett, what he'll be doing.
Yep. I mean, that seems to be what we are hearing, is what it's politically incorrect doing. That is
we had talked a little bit about, just some of the people that were coming. And so it was exciting to see a lot of new faces, people, taking that next step and taking some classes and just having interest into what have to say is still kind of blows my mind. But yeah, I look forward to it. Just kind of sharing a little bit. And while I may be doing pork, I'll answer questions for any of the other categories, and I'm sure the other guys are kind of the same. So we'll all chime in on any of the questions and kind of help. I think Robert does thighs, but I do legs. So if there's leg questions, I'm happy to help answer any of those. So we may be only doing one meat category, but I think it's a pretty good bang for your buck, because you got 4 different teams all kind of cooking on different things and can answer questions. So from all different viewpoints.
What I love about it is everybody cooks on something different. Everybody's got a whole, the only thing we don't have is cans. Nobody.
Yeah, we don't want any cans.
Except for me, and I don't cook, and nobody wants to hear anything from me. So it's going to be it's a lot of fun. But if anybody, anyway, it's going to be such a cool class. Robert, what is something you're looking forward to?
I was looking forward to Paul teaching legs, but I guess that's not happening.
and I will admit to anybody who's watching, I guess I am the one that caused the stink and got everybody kind of mixed up. I think we got our wires crossed kind of from the beginning. So so I feel really bad about it. I really do.
Oh man, I had to, and it's something that I'm learning. Ellen yelled at me the other day. It was great. I jumped the gun and, anyway. Chris Schaefer, you can do the next one. How about that? And how about next class?
You can come on down now.
Yeah. He said no cans because he wasn't invited. Brian Payton says nobody cooks on cans anymore. That's true. It's they're falling apart.
I heard it was a fad.
It's a fad. So
that's what I heard on Facebook. Facebook said it was a fad.
Facebook rumor for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Robert, you have cooked. You have taught many classes. In my opinion, you've done some GBC classes. You've put on your own classes. And I will say, I've always called him the professor because he is a great. And Paul, I think you've seen him teach a class before, correct?
I've taken Robert's class. I learned a lot in his class.
He's very much a professor, and he very much likes to teach. Would you agree with that conversation, that statement?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd say he's good at it.
Yeah. And Paul, this is going to be your first, or have you taught any other classes?
No, this will be my first class. Yeah. I'm teaching anything. My normal work keeps me, I do a lot of public speaking. I do a lot of teaching and things just through my normal work. So that part shouldn't be too big of a deal, but no, it's my first class. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What was that, Robert? You kind of froze up there. What were you going to say?
No, I thought he taught GBC.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm not a member of GBC, but I will be after hearing Lee's story, Lee Hinkle's story on GBC.
Not just
Lee's,
Lee's.
whatever that is.
You were right there with them. If you had joined, you would have been way up there too. So I'm going to be bringing on some GBC stuff in the future, because that's something that I really believe has a good opportunity for people to get into another points chase. It's something that, if you can't, like, not everybody can be like these two studs and chase points all over the country and do well and kick butt everywhere they go. But you can cook locally. And I think for here, us in the Southeast, and, maybe some people from the Midwest might want to come over and get 5 or 6 cooks in Georgia and chase points here too. So we'll see. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So Robert, what has been the biggest, can you hear me? Or are you frozen?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're just so still. That's amazing.
That's right.
I mean,
Hey,
he doesn't move.
it's almost my bedtime, man. So I'm
What
actually asleep. My eyes are just open. I'm still actually sleeping.
What is something about barbecue that you have really enjoyed over the past 5 or 6 years?
5 or 6 years.
Or
Just
whatever.
traveling. To me, it's the traveling part that's good. It's meeting all kinds of different people. That's, like I said, one of the things and we were talking about, one of the things I'm looking forward to for the class, and I think that's teaching people. I love teaching people that are sort of new to competition barbecue. That's one of my favorite things. In fact, there's a couple that came by the smoker this weekend on Friday night. He was talking to somebody else that, was, I guess, did MBN when Demopolis used to be MBN. And he was about cooking low and slow. And, the rest of us in KCBS nowadays, we're cooking hot and fast. And he asked what I thought about that. And we get in this conversation. And you could tell his wife was like, let's just go. Because we were going on for like a good 30 minutes or more. Just need to get done.
There's a little bit more negativity out there, I think, maybe for the bad side. And I think that's just a product of social media. Information just travels so much faster, and it's seen by so many more people. It's not just somebody talking and that person has to tell somebody else. It takes so long to spread when it's just by word of mouth. Yeah, I think that would be a bad that I've seen over the years from where we first got into it, that some of that negativity is out there a little bit more so than normal. But the good thing about it is even through all that negativity, I think there's those that just they don't care. They just ignoring it and just doing what they like doing, and that's cooking barbecue. And I think that the spats over whether KCBS board members or whether it be new rule changes, all this stuff, I think in the end it is people come out on top and they're just happy to be doing what they love doing. And so and I think that's the good part about it.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
Robert, you look like you have something you want to add to that.
Yeah, when he's talking about the spats and people complaining, it's just the same drama, just a different year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing this since 2012, 2011, and ebbs and waves of the same stuff people complaining about. So it is what it is. If you enjoy doing it and you enjoy cooking, that's what you go do.
Yeah.
We don't care how many teams are there. We don't care what the prize purse is. I mean, you're not here to make money in this thing, so you just go do what you love doing, and that's cooking.
Yeah, the only disappointment you have in the number of teams is that you just would like to see more people. It is not that the numbers care that much as it is just you're missing people that you haven't seen in a while or that you normally see more of. And but yeah, well said.
Yeah, and you do hope that at least you have that minimum where if somebody does win, this case is Chris Schaefer all the time, but that he does have somebody who does have the chance to go to the Royal or the Jack or whatever. So I mean that's always good to have.
Yeah. That's what it was funny how I thought it was going to be a Jack or a qualifier or whatever. going into the weekend. I had heard the number was 26, 27 teams. So I didn't, and then you don't know until you get there, right? I mean, that's part of it. But yeah, I'm sure you still had a good time. Jason already said you never heard the good things, just the negative. And that's something that, here on the barbecue show, I try to push as much of the positive because it gets so caught up. Paul, you're correct. It gets so caught up in the negative, the bad judging, the this, the that, the whatever. I think there's a lot of good things going on. And it's people like you two that are such good ambassadors to the sport that, you make good things happen. And that's something that is very impressive to me. What I think y'all have been able to do is you keep this positive when it can be negative at times, but you guys keep a good positive attitude. And I think that's really important for barbecue. So what are your goals or what are your plans for next year? I guess it's already started. I guess the season's already started for next year now. God, it goes fast, doesn't it? What do you see as next year's or this year, whatever, 2022's plans? Paul.
Well, for us, we might do a little more planning this year than we have in the past, but for us, I think a lot of teams are really like this. There are a few teams out there, they have that ultimate goal, but for us, we just kind of take the few contests early in the year, see how it goes, and kind of decide on how aggressive we'll be throughout the rest of the year, and kind of play it by ear a little bit. But I don't know that we just sit down and make out this 9-month schedule or anything like that. We're doing good to get a month or two ahead of time for the most part.
It's crazy.
We need to talk to Lynn on the reality of what really is happening for them next year.
Exactly.
She holds some of it back, so some of it she doesn't tell me.
Oh, she has plans.
She's got plans. Yeah, there is a plan, Paul. You just
there's a plan. You just don't know what it is yet, Paul.
Yeah, and I fall right into it. I'm just as guilty, I guess. But I need somebody to push me, I guess sometimes. But I do look forward to having a little bit of break. So we did go hard, and a lot of weekends in a row, cooking and on the road. And we were guessing we put around 30,000 miles on the road this year, and I'm ready for a little bit of a break.
I bet.
I got stuff that needs to be repaired, and the trailer's got all axles got to be replaced, and there's just all kind of stuff I got to get fixed in the next couple of months here before it starts all over again.
So I know you cook this weekend. What would be your next? When do you plan on hitting it strong? March, February?
Yeah, I don't think there's much available until March. You've got kind of a double swing kind of deal going on in Florida with two of them down in there with over a 3-week time period, I think. Lakeland, and then there's one close to it, just east of it, I think. That's 2 weeks ahead of it, but that's a long haul for us. So I don't know. I haven't really reached out. If I could find somebody that I could cook on something down there, then I might entertain flying down there and cooking and doing that kind of thing. But I don't know.
He's getting big time on us, Robert. He's starting to fly around places.
You learn. Hey, you learn. You start doing this a little bit. You start learning little tricks about. I will say when we do plan out things, we do look for contests that are going the same direction multiple weekends in a row, and we'll look for places to store our trailer so that we're not hauling it all the time. And that is a huge help. We did that several times this year for some of the Carolinas that we ran. We did it a couple times this year over there where we had 3 or 4 in a row in South and North Carolina. So we just dropped it off at a common spot, and we don't have to haul it for 4 hours back home, 4 hours back there. So that's 8 hours and Lynn can drive too. She doesn't drive with the trailer, so that kind of helps out. You learn a lot of that stuff. But I haven't flown a contest yet, so I wouldn't mind trying it just to see how well it works out. And I think Robert's been talking about some too, about just simplifying and kind of going down to more of a basic setup. And we've been looking at some of that too, about maybe not having the big trailer, having a small trailer, or maybe just a pull behind set up for a cooker so that we can be a little bit lighter weight and a little faster.
Yeah, that's something I was looking into myself, just having just a little porch trailer type or something that I can throw the cans on, and just real small instead of having to pull a big RV. I love the RV, but it would be nice to be able to just pull a small trailer and go. So, Robert, David said it's great to see the husband and wife teams, and both of you two are very strong husband and wife teams, and both of y'all, I mean, it is very much a team. And before I get any farther, Robert, Wes Garrett is on. He says he loves you, and he's ready for your autograph. And yeah, he is. I told him when he came on, I said the trophies are getting bigger. His trophy
they're not.
collection is getting. I mean, Paul, he does everything he can just to embarrass us. I do believe, don't you think?
Oh yeah, they're shining right now.
I mean, they are just blinging right now.
Right. All 6 trophies I actually have are just right there in one group. That's all. Makes it look deceiving.
I'll never forget a couple of years ago when Robert and Lex were on it pretty hard. I remember me and Lynn multiple times looked at each other and went, I wonder where they put all these trophies, because they really racked up. And especially the bowling trophies, man.
Oh yeah, bowling.
Golly,
bowling trophies there. I feel lucky. I feel like we're going to be lucky. If they're handcrafted, nice wooden things, I don't feel so good. But man, if it's a good old bowling trophy,
that's serious. I mean, that is truthful stuff. Me and Lynn would go into the Cooks meeting, we see those bowling trophies sitting over and look at each other, and we just go, "Oh crap!" They won. They won. And the bigger, the better. The bigger taller they are, the better chance that Robert and Lex are going to win.
You know, I told him this weekend, I said, I feel pretty confident. And he's like, the reason they didn't win is because I jinxed him. So sorry, Robert. You know, he brought that up, and I would just like to give y'all an opportunity real quick, because y'all are husband and wife teams and a little different, like different roles or whatever in both of you. You know, Lex is the one that will not let Robert give out any secrets. So I'm going to be trying my hardest to get out a secret tonight, and she's over there like telling him to stop. You know, and I'm sure Linda's the same with y'all. But what is it like for y'all to be able to cook as a husband and wife team?
No, I couldn't do without Lex. I couldn't imagine. I know a lot of the wives or other spouse takes care of usually the boxes and the sauces and stuff. And that's what she does, but she keeps me on my game. And even though we might have a spreadsheet where we follow certain times for certain things, if she sees it's changed or sees something's off, she remembers that. She has a pretty good memory. So there's been some times where I'll print out a new timeline because I wanted to tweak things there, and she'll notice it just like that. So,
and you hear about it, don't you?
Oh yeah. And even I remember back in the day, we'd have friends hanging out with us, and they were like, we'd be arguing all the time. But now it's pretty smooth. When we're out there doing a rib, it's like a dance. Doing the ribs or wrapping the ribs, it's like a dance, man. We're not even talking. We know exactly what each other, what we're supposed to be doing. Usually.
Until you change something up on her.
Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't do without her. I couldn't imagine not having her there, trying to do it on my own, to be honest.
Paul, what would you say?
Yeah, I think just having your wife with you, and you're, as Robert said earlier, you're traveling to so many cities, and you're seeing a lot of things that as a couple that's just really cool, like just experiences that you're gaining through that. But during the cook part, yeah, I mean she's definitely pulling her weight. So I think sometimes the wives of cook teams, they don't get the credit sometimes they deserve, because I mean, she's the taster. I don't really taste anything that goes in a box. She tells me what she wants in the box, tenderness wise and taste. I'm just a fire manager is all I am, really. So, I mean, she does all the sauces and injections, and we have the spreadsheet too that we learned a lot from Robert on keeping that in together. But she has all the alarms set up on her phone, and she's on me. If I test it for tenderness, she goes, how long does it need? And then she'll set that alarm and make sure I'm on task, to check it again so it doesn't get over. So Yeah, she is a very good manager of me.
That's Ellen and I cook together. Jimmy comes and you'll always see me and Jimmy out there cooking, and then Ellen will come out and be like, Brian, what are you doing? You got to get her on this. Or, because I go off and I talk,
I normally just see Jimmy doing the cooking, but maybe I'm just not there as much.
You just miss it when I'm out there.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so much fun. So as I've said before, and before I get too far into this, I know it's I'm sorry, I'm reading the comment. Hat selection and everything else. Where did the hat stuff come from, Paul?
Oh, I don't want to lie, but I think what started it was she got a hat, I think, from my mom, and then it just kind of like one hat, and she wore it, and I think she liked it, and I think it added a little bit of, I don't know, flair back to things a little bit. You used to see a little more of that, I think. And so then I think the next year we saw one somewhere and bought it. And then next thing you know, the next year she had several of them, summers and winters and different kinds. And it's just now it's her trademark now. So
it's awesome. It's awesome. But anyway, back to what I want to talk about tonight. And they don't know I'm doing this, but Robert and Lex, where we were fortunate enough to, they were a sponsor team when Randy had the class or the store, and we were fortunate enough to be able to keep them on. And Robert has been such a mentor to us, Ellen and I, and not just at the barbecue, but just as friends. And him and Lex have been awesome to us throughout our whole Atlanta barbecue store career. And then we were able to bring on Paul and Lynn were like our first, like something that we were able to do on our own. And what they have brought, I'll never forget. We won Sip and Swine, and Lynn came in and helped Ellen before Ellen had to go to Robert's class, make boxes. And she went to Robert's class right after that. And we were fortunate enough to win our first grand, our only grand. And it's just it's been a very cool experience for us to have these two families part of our Atlanta barbecue store teams. And it means more to us than just them being a sponsor team. These guys have really helped us do what we've been able to accomplish at the Atlanta barbecue store. And I'm very grateful. Ellen and I are very grateful for what y'all have done to help us. And like I've said before, y'all are such, they are a power couple, Wes, and don't you forget it. But guys, I thank y'all. I do. I don't know if you know what y'all are doing to help people out like us. And for anybody watching tonight or whatever, look for somebody that you can help mentor to, because we've got a lot of big name people watching the show right now. And I do like Bill Purvis, the ability that y'all have as mentors and what y'all can do is incredible. So I do thank you, Robert and Paul, for what y'all have done for us. And I just want to say thank you. And what y'all are doing for us with this class is just absolutely incredible. What y'all are doing and what Wes and Lee, I do appreciate everything y'all are doing. So I've done a lot of talking. I apologize. I do that a lot, but thank y'all so much for who y'all are, what y'all have done, and barbecue, because a lot of this stuff goes without any reciprocal. I don't know. Thanks, but we're just very grateful for what y'all do. So anyway, yes, and Lex and Lynn are the masterminds behind all of this. So thank you all for all of that. Jason Cole, hope you're doing well tonight. Tom Cleveland, good to see you. Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on. But Guys, thank y'all for what you're doing, and what does that mean to be able to give back? Is that something that you think about a lot, or is it just something that you just do out of the niceness that y'all are, how nice y'all are as people?
Yeah, I don't know that I think about it a lot, but it is definitely something that I enjoy doing. And we all had to start somewhere at everything in life. So barbecue's no different than that. And everything you do, for the most part, you've had to learn from other people and gain some experience through their experiences. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing it. So anytime a team wants to talk barbecue and just talk about what they're having issues with or anything like that, I mean, I'm always excited to talk about it. I mean, I don't hold back or worry about telling somebody too much. I mean, it's just barbecue. So there's a lot more important things in life than barbecue. So I don't know why I'd want to hold it back or steer somebody wrong about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest things is to sit there. There are some, I remember we've seen a few teams over the years that just struggle and struggle. And they're out there almost as much as we are, and they just can't catch a break, right? And they probably can't afford to go to some of these classes especially now, because they're getting more expensive. But I like helping those kind of people out for sure. At least go up and try to, hey, what's going on? What are you doing here? What are you doing there? And just give them some help somehow, because we've got to keep those people in the competition barbecue, right? So.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm kind of like that too. Me and Lynn, we've done that a few times where you see that team, they're out there and they're putting the work in. They're showing up. They're out there in the wind and the rain and the cold and gritting it out like everybody else, but still struggling. And you just kind of mosey over there and throw the hints out that, hey, if you need some help, I'm here. Just hit me up. Just let me know what you need help with, and I can tell you what I do, and you can see how it goes. But Robert hit that right on. If we don't support those that are less experienced or are struggling in certain things, then they're not going to be very motivated to keep doing it.
Yeah, that's so true. That's something that we talk about a good bit, is like, how can we help? What is something that we can do to give back? How can we give somebody, without saying, hey, here's some help, that here's something to help you out. Eric, we were going to get Paul's chicken, and then we changed it up and decided to get his pork. So Paul will be teaching pork. But it's going to be good. Yeah, Jason R says the truth is that we want everybody to cook good because that will help the judge table score right. You don't want someone on the table to kill the judge's taste bud. There you go. Didn't even, I guess there is some truth to that I didn't even think about. But yeah, that's so true. I would like the class, all of the recipes and everything will be told at the class coming up in a couple of weeks. So if you're not on the waiting list, email Ellen and get in on that waiting list. But anyway, David and Joel are on talking about it, and that's kind of fun. So Robert, you didn't really talk about what you have planned for 2022. What is your ultimate goal? Is it to get $7,000 and make it back to the Jack, or is that too low of a goal for you? What are we thinking?
Honestly, we have no plans. I mean, if you look at my calendar right now, I usually have every other Friday off. So I have a contest listed on there every other weekend. Whether we do that or not, I know we plan on taking, as Paul said, we're going to take a class in January with Drew with Razor Racks, and I want to see how he and even Eric does it with just a pop-up tent and a cooker. I mean, we were probably there at one time. Even when we did it with a pop-up tent and a little van, we brought everything but the kitchen sink. So we stuffed a lot of crap in there. Those guys don't carry a lot of stuff, so I want to see their processes and how they do that.
Yeah.
And even there's that 4 legs up class with Kelly in early February. I wouldn't mind even going to that one because has the same setup really.
Did you see him set? Were you able to see him in Cumming? Did you ever go over to where he was set up?
I didn't, but I've seen him compete other places, like Evans and places like that.
Yeah, he was almost up on stage. He was.
Oh, was he?
He had a setup, didn't he, Paul? Did you see where he was set up over there?
Yeah. I think he was there last year too, and he found a little awning or something. He set up underneath one of the little cabin deals or whatever over there, and kind of did the same thing. He was even more simplistic than even Drew is, which is saying something because Drew's probably that guy shows up and he could fit it all in a car if he really wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Him and Eric both they do a lot of the same type setup, but.
And that is something that's cool. I mean, that is something that about barbecue. You can show up you can cook under a pop-up tent, or you can show up with a big old RV and cook under. I mean, there's no one way of doing it and being successful. There's a lot of different ways, and you just find what works for you and what makes you the most comfortable, right? I mean, both of y'all are talking about going smaller, right? Paul, you're talking about you might see if you can't get a smaller rig, and Robert's going down to cooking in a pop-up, and it's just crazy. I mean, so the way that you can do this is just, there's so many different ways of being successful in barbecue. So
I would just like the option to do that. I'm not saying I want to do it that way every weekend, but like Paul said, sometimes you just want to travel light.
Yep.
You want to zip in and zip out or whatever. Sometimes we want to get there early and stay for the long weekend, but I just want that option because really, I was talking to Kelly with 4 legs up this weekend, and a lot of it's weather sort of determines what you're going to do, whether you're going to bring the trailer or not, or whether you're just going to pull the smoker in and have a pop-up.
Yeah, because he has that big old huge trailer that he cooks out of sometimes too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he carries that more local, but I know at Sip and Swan a couple of years ago, he had the big old huge trailer, and then he comes to Cumming, and he has nothing but his Jambo, or comes to a banjo, and he's got nothing but a Jambo. Or whatever he's cooking on. Pretty neat stuff going on. So what is something I gave the guys last week an opportunity to ask each other questions. So Paul, is there anything that you were curious if you were to take over the show tonight and ask Robert some questions, what was something that you'd ask him?
Does he have a matching shirt like Lex? Cute but psycho but cute. You got a matching shirt.
Psycho. Mine just says psycho.
Just the psycho? Is that all it is, Robert?
Yeah,
right.
she had that on last weekend, and we were looking at it and we were laughing. Yeah.
And you know why we did that is because the gnats were crazy out there. And even on Friday, I had my orange shirt on, and they just swarmed all over my shirt. And they did the same for her. And in fact, somebody else had a lime green one, and it was just the gnats were swarming on them. We both had to switch to sort of that neutral gray or black shirt to make it a little bit more comfortable. But that's why she do that. So my question to you is, do you have matching hats? Like,
I don't have matching hats.
Are you willing to start wearing them?
But I have actually worn Lynn's hat a few times this year. So she. There's a couple of times she had to leave the contest early, and I was more or less told I had to wear the hat if we got calls. And then in Shelby, North Carolina, we actually thought that would probably be our last contest, and so we kind of ended the year with me wearing one, turning in brisket kind of last contest. But I have, and there are pictures floating around somewhere that prove it. But I have wore her hats.
So I'm going to ask y'all a question. Both of y'all rarely make appearances on stage. What does it take for y'all to go up on stage with your wives?
Lynn, well, for me, Lynn is just so much. If you haven't noticed, she's very excitable for calls, and she's just so much faster. So I feel like I'm chasing her as she's running up to the stage, so I just tend to kind of hang back. But I don't know. A nice 180 will get me up out of my seat, though.
What is that like?
I don't know. Ask Ellen.
It's the kids. The kids know all about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Robert?
Well, I think it goes back to I think you said it, or maybe Paul said it, but we couldn't do this without our spouses. And Lex does a lot, and I want her. For that reason, I think I want her to go up there and be the person to get the award. Because somebody might come up and think I'm just doing everything. No, that's not the case. She's doing just as much as I am.
Yeah.
So that's sort of me saying, okay, you get it. You earned this just as much as I did. And plus, usually by that time, I'm hurting. My back's killing me. My feet are killing me. I'm like, you just go ahead.
You just go ahead.
So
it's not a first place, or it's not a grand. It's not any of that kind of stuff. It's just whatever makes you feel better that day, whatever you feel, however you're feeling.
Every once in a while, depending on where it is and how I'm feeling, I'll go up with her right away. But usually I'll just let her go up.
I would love for Ellen to go, but the boys fly up there. Well, generally it's Micah and Sarah. If I ever do get a call, Micah and Sarah just fly up there. And Ellen's stuck either doing a Facebook Live or something else and trying to get her up there. But one of these days, I'm just say you go up there and do it.
Yeah, she's a little shy.
Yeah, she is. She doesn't like being up front, which is so sad. But anyway, well, guys, is there anything else that y'all wanted to talk about? I know, Paul, this was a last minute thing for you. My fault again. And then Robert, we've had this planned for a month and a half. Bill, there was a agenda sent to Robert tonight, and he did very well with it. It's that $18 tripod. What is Robert's got a tripod that he puts up stuff or something like that, or is that something I do?
I know they might see can't even remember the name of my damn channel now.
Silly Barbecue Life.
Silly Barbecue Life. So I was shooting some video this weekend, so we might be coming out with a video finally after taking a hiatus of posting videos. And I forgot my tripod, so we went to Walmart. And they had a $14 option. Now I moved over and I saw this $18 option. Well, I'm like, that's got to be quality, right? It's $4 more. Sure enough, one of the legs didn't even stay down. So Joelle had led me her brand new. I think it was a brand new one. So, and that one worked.
That one worked. Man, that was a really good show. I hope you can bring that back. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we always enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work, but hopefully I'm going to get back into it. That'd be nice.
Oh man.
I need somebody, anybody out there that's willing to come along with us and film. I mean, that's the key. We need a camera person. Tried to get Brent with Bee's Knees to come on out. And his host name would be Dusty Knees. That's what he wanted to call himself.
Is that his
So we all know we would want that. Brent definitely needs to come out of hiding and host the show.
That'd be
awesome. Great.
That would be really good.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Especially I think half of my videos are of him and Jeff back in the day. So
I will say that some of the contests that I can recall the most is when Robert was filming and Jeff and Brent, and we were just kind of going back and forth a little bit.
Good times.
Oh, that's awesome.
To this day, that was probably I've gassed him that I probably have in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys are hilarious. Do either of y'all have superstitions at a contest?
Definitely.
I don't. Yeah.
Not so much me, more Lex. With Lex, you got to do everything the same way at the same time. She's got to have that pig with her all everywhere. Yeah, that's got to show up. Things like that. Everything's 11:11's got to happen on time, else we're screwed.
11,
Just little things like that.
Yeah. Paul, what about y'all?
I don't think so. We have more routines than we do superstitions, but we always come in at so many different times throughout the year, so it's hard to come up with superstition because you're always doing it a little bit differently as far as just your route. The same things, but at different times. So,
well, once again, Wes Garrett is looking up to y'all, and he's trying to figure out a superstition.
Well, we can't help it that he's that short.
and he's just trying to find some. You two guys are like y'all are like big time, and Wes is just like, what do they do that I can do to be like them? And it's not so, like you said, it's not so much superstition. It's the repetition, doing it all the time and doing it well is what makes it so good for y'all. Correct? Wes is going to send me a text and be like,
you didn't tell Wes that when you polled the people who signed up for the class, 18 of 20 said they were coming just for Wes.
He does not know that yet, but he will know that the reason that people are coming is to see Wes and to hear what he has to say. In whatever category it was he was teaching, they wanted to hear him. So, I keep saying that to him, and he gets mad at me saying that I'm making fun of him. But it's the truth. I mean, he is the guy.
Well, when you asked me to teach, what was the first thing I said to you? Was Wes going to be there?
Yep. You really did.
Told you that's the only way I'm teaching is Wes. If Wes is there teaching.
First thing I said in the show tonight. The only reason why I'm even going to show up is because Wes is going to be teaching Brisbane, right. So I want to be there.
I mean,
I feel like I ought to pay for the class.
The whole reason I'm putting this whole class on is to give Wes Garrett an opportunity to.
He loves the stage, man. He needs it.
He does.
He loves the stage.
He loves that everybody looking at him. He loves the attention. So anybody that's coming, make sure that you give Wes all the attention you can at the class. And if you see him at a contest, especially at awards, right, Robert? If you see him at awards, make sure you give him a lot of attention. Stand right next to him. He loves at awards.
That's right. And everybody on here tonight, whether you know Wes or not, Wes Garrett, he's making a lot of comments tonight. Just send him a Facebook message. Tell him how much you love him.
Yes, please do.
It
will make his night. He really does need that. So Wes Garrett, look him up. Politically Incorrect. He cooks barbecue. He's a pretty good cook. And and look him up and send him a message. It'll be great. But anyway, is there anything that y'all wanted to say before we leave tonight? Before I let y'all go, I know it's late for Robert. He just got 5 new Facebook friend requests.
I'm telling you.
What's his Instagram account name? We can get that going too.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't do Instagram. Ellen does all that for us. If anybody has Wes's Instagram account, 6 now.
Hey, I think I have his phone number. Hold on.
You have his phone number.
Oh, I do have it.
Yeah, just text him.
Call him. Just call him on the hour.
Call him on the Oh man, that's so fun, guys. I'm so thankful for y'all, your friendship, what y'all do, and everything else. But like I said, is there anything that y'all want to end? No. Is there anything you want to end the show with tonight, other than Father Wes?
I just want to say thank you for your all support. Couldn't do a lot of this without Atlanta Barbecue Store. So mainly want to thank Ellen. She's the one. I'm telling you.
That's right.
Yeah. She's always good about, I forgot this, Ellen. Can you slip that in the order too?
Ellen, if you're listening, thank you for keeping them straight.
She does not do that. There is nobody that ever gets anything late at a contest. If you miss the deadline, you miss the deadline. There's only certain people that get the special treatment. She would be very upset if y'all posted that out to everybody. But anyway, y'all are awesome. I really can't wait for another. I guess we got a month, or a little over a month.
Be here before you know it.
I know. Real quick, what do y'all have for any Christmas plans? Y'all got anything going on? Y'all staying around, going anywhere?
No, not really.
Sticking around.
I'm sure Paul's wanting to rest now. He just wants to relax.
I'll be cooking ribs in 2 weeks. You watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man, I know neither one of y'all ever struggle cooking anything, but if you were to struggle, what would be one of the categories you would say you're struggling with?
Chicken.
And what do you do to fix it?
The category I'm teaching at the class.
Hey Robert, who's winning chicken right now in points for 2022? Do you know?
Probably, I don't know. Probably Chris.
No.
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 It's this guy.
No, it's this guy.
Yeah, Paul.
Did you see that face? He's like, oh god.
I'm like, I had to think about it. Wait a second.
Oh
It's
man.
too early to be looking at points, man.
That's what I say.
Holy moly.
I mean, at 3 contests, I don't think you can read too much into that, but
I do. I looked at it. Kerry Chastain, he's winning pork right now. It's pretty cool. Paul's winning chicken. I don't remember the rest. I looked at it and I forgot about it. But you know what? It's really cool to see how everybody's doing. And I just say, remember this season, remember Christmas, remember all this, what it's all about. Spend time with family, spend time with friends, be thankful, be grateful for all that you have and all that you've been able to do, and give back as much as you can. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Paul, I need you to stay on both of y'all to stay on for just a second before we get off. I hope you all have a great week. We will see you next week on Chewin the BBQ Fat. And thank you so much for all y'all do. Y'all have a wonderful night, and we will see you next week.
All right, see you.
Chewin the BBQ Fat.